first day of the year, a baby girl was born in a farmhouse, so I hear. The year was 1929, it seemed so long ago. And on that farm, that little girl soon began to grow. She became a teacher, and she taught every grade. Her only way to get to work was on her horse each day. She got married to a farm boy, 3 little ones they had. For 60 years they made a life and home there on that land. Now her life's become a portrait of a cowgirl, true and strong. She always takes the high road and her heart's in tune with God. She's a picture perfect lady, an angel in my eyes. She's a portrait of a cowgirl forever painted in my life. Ooh, 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 ooh. I never heard complaining. She didn't take the time, even when it was raining and she had clothes out on the line. From her 4-H leading duties to helping at the fair, I watched her reach for those in need with hands of love and care. Now her life's become a portrait of a cowgirl, true and strong. She always takes the high road and her heart's in tune with God. She's a picture perfect lady, an angel in my eyes. She's a portrait of a cowgirl forever painted in my life. Ooh, 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 ooh. Years of lots of sacrifice, being all that she could be, and I pray that there's a lot of her in me. Now her life's become a portrait of a cowgirl, true and strong. She always takes the high road and her heart's in tune with God. She's a picture perfect lady, an angel in my eyes. She's a portrait of a cowgirl forever painted in my life. She's a portrait of a cowgirl forever painted in my life. Ooh, 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 ooh.
And that was Eli Barsi in Portrait of a Cowgirl, and that is the title cut from her CD, Portrait of a Cowgirl. I recently had the privilege to meet her at the Western Film Fair in North Carolina, where she was the main attraction at the banquet that was held. She hails from Saskatchewan, Canada, and it is with pleasure that I have her on the show. Welcome, Eli.
Thank you, John. It's nice to be chatting with you.
You just did such a great job at the Western Film Fair. I was very moved by many of the songs that you did. One of them in particular I'll talk about a little bit later. Your latest CD is called Portrait of a Cowgirl. Tell us a little bit about the CD and the thought process of choosing the songs for it.
Oh, sure. Well, I wrote all 12 tracks on the album, and I've been a songwriter for many years, and I've written songs for every project, but never have I written the entire album. So this was my 13th album, and I thought that would be a good challenge for me to write all the songs or co-write them. And so I started 2 years prior to recording, collecting ideas and working on the songs. And it took the full 2 years to get them written and to where I was happy with them. And I wanted to really focus on Western sensibility and rural lifestyle and prairie passion, which is my roots and the area that I'm living in Saskatchewan. And I wanted to have some stories that tell, express real family values and wholesomeness, and so putting all those elements together took some time.
So it sounds like that some of your real life experience are incorporated into your songwriting and into this CD.
Yes, every single song is a true story of some sort. Most of it is from my experiences, but there's a few songs that I've got ideas from other people. But all of the songs are basically true stories.
Wonderful. And I've learned that the CD has won several awards.
It has. It has. We've been really blessed. When you work so hard at something. And I'm just happy that it makes people happy, and people are purchasing it and telling me that they're enjoying it, and that is quite the reward right there. But it has garnered a few awards in my home province of Saskatchewan, as well as in the U.S., the Western Heritage Awards. They honored me with a Wrangler for the song Portrait of a Cowgirl. So I was very pleased by that. What an honor.
Now, for me, it's hard to choose a favorite song on the CD, but I have to admit I really like Prairie Skies because it just harkens back to the old Western swing style that was popular in the 40s and early 50s, kind of, I guess, went along with the Western movies and then later with Western TV shows. So I'm guessing you're a fan of that style of music, too. I
am. I'm so glad that you said that, because it's exactly what I wanted to accomplish with that song. So if you picked up on that, then it seems like I'm on the right track. Yeah, I've always loved, I love the cowboy music, and some of the songs on the album lean towards a little more of a country flavor and roots, but I wanted some to specifically lean towards Western swing, and that was one of them.
Kind of reminds me of the Gene Autry style back then, and then Roy Rogers and some of those singers back then. Well, let's hear Prairie Skies now.
The stars shine brighter neath the prairie skies. My life is much sweeter there, I can't deny. Yodel with the coyotes and ropes and dragonflies. I'm at my best beneath the prairie skies. Mountains will amaze me as they reach the wild blue yonder. Ocean waves will daze me and cause me to ponder. City lights are pretty, but they're such a distraction. The prairie sun and moon and stars shine to my satisfaction. Oh, the stars shine brighter neath the prairie skies. My life is much sweeter there, I can't deny. Yodel with the coyotes and ropes and dragonflies. I'm at my best beneath the prairie skies. Sing its accolades. You can keep your luscious forest full of cedar, oak, and pine, 'cause I can see forever beneath the prairie sky. Oh, the stars shine brighter neath the prairie skies. My life is much sweeter there, I can't deny. Yodel with the coyotes and ropes and dragonflies. I'm at my best beneath the prairie skies. Much sweeter there, I can't deny. Yodel with the coyotes and ropes and dragonflies. I'm at my best out here in the west. Yeah, I'm at my best beneath the prairie skies. Oh, lo-dee, lo-doo, lo-lo-dee, lo-lo-doo, lay, lo-lay, lo-dee.
So how long have you been singing?
Well, I've been singing for a long time. I think my first public appearance, I was 12. So that goes back quite a few years. But I've been performing professionally, making a living for 29 years.
That's a long time, but
It is.
You've done
It is a long time, and that's working almost every week. Like very, very full time.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I had my daughter and she was young, I still found a way to be out there playing music and not have to be traveling.
Wow,
And,
great.
Yeah, so I've been doing it for a very long time, and I still love it.
Well, there's no way it can be 29 years. You don't look anywhere near that age.
Well, you are very kind. You're my new best friend. Thanks for saying that. I just, we work really hard in the music business, but God has blessed us immensely and given us the energy to keep going and the good health that you need to keep down the road and to stay on the right track, because the music business can be crazy.
Well, who are some of your favorite singers or musical inspirations?
Oh boy, growing up, my dad had a nice variety of records. The first records that I would listen to, though, were his old Opry stars like Roy Acuff and the Carter Family, Kitty Wells, Grandpa Jones was another favorite. This was my very, very early influence, and of course, Canadian star Wilf Carter, Montana Slim. And when I started buying my own records and listening, picking out my favorites, Linda Ronstadt was one of my faves, Emmylou Harris, Dolly Parton, always. So those were some of my earlier influences.
Well, you mentioned Linda Ronstadt. I think I really like her music too, and she's done just about every possible genre of music there is.
Yeah.
I had recently read the book that she wrote. I didn't realize she started out doing not just country, but she did some Southern gospel and some very almost bluegrass style music when she first started. That surprised me.
Oh wow, yeah.
So
yeah, I can see her pulling that off, no problem.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What is the difference between Canadian and American country music?
There really isn't. There really isn't a difference. The American country music, like what you heard years ago, the classic country, to today's more the top 40 pop country, it's the same across the border. We play a lot of American artists on the radio stations, and the Canadian country music is recorded similar. Like the Canadian new country music sounds similar to the American new sound, So I think it's very, very similar. There's so many branches on the country music tree, though. What is country music today? I think radio is taking it in a direction, commercial radio that is taking it in a direction that's making it more pop, which is unfortunate because there's so many country songs out there that don't even have a fiddle or a pedal steel or a mandolin or dobro or anything that makes it country. So I kind of think that that's missing. But, as far as the genre of Canadian country music, it's always been the same as the American. It's pretty much the same sound.
Well, I've seen that too, that a lot of the country music is going towards more pop. And the thing I've noticed is that there seems to be an emphasis on people who can try to yell at the top of their voice to impress people. And I'm thinking, I like Carrie Underwood's music, but my goodness, every song it sounds like she's trying to out-sing everybody in the world, and I don't think you need to do that to sing well. That's what I appreciate about your music. It's all, you sing it well, you don't over-sing it. I know Johnny Mathis once talked about people shouldn't over-sing a song, but I think a lot of the country artists now do.
I agree with you. It's like I don't know if it's the record companies or what's pushing the music in the wrong direction. I think a lot of the artists wouldn't be going that way if they didn't have to. See, I'm an independent artist. I'm not signed to anybody. It would be lovely to have the funding and help from a label. However, since I have to do it on my own, I do call all the shots, and I'm the one that's out there playing all the time. I'm the one that's out there playing for all these audiences, and I'm listening to what they want. And that's why I recorded the album Portrait of a Cowgirl the way I did it, because it seems to be that my audience wants to hear that. So
Right.
that's important to me to listen. It's not about me at all. It's about the audience and using my music to brighten their day or to make their life better, bring them a little bit of joy, make them think, what have you. But I'm listening to my audience, and that seems to be what they want from me.
Well, I know when I heard you sing at the Western Film Fair, it sounded so authentic. You know, it wasn't like, I mean, like you said, these songs were personal to you, and they sound personal. And I think when that happens, it's something magical happens because it connects with the audience as well. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, I think every song you did was just connected with the audience.
Well, thank you. That means the world to me. And I've always thought that what comes from the heart reaches the heart. And I'm not going to try and do anything but what is real to me. I can't sell something that I don't believe in or can't deliver properly. So that's what I've always done, and that's what I'm going to keep on going with. So when people buy my record, that means so much to me because they're just listening to what they want to hear. They're not being dictated to by record companies and politics of it all.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on that thinking, where can the listeners go online to find out more about you and purchase your wonderful music?
Well, thank you. Well, elibarsi.com, ELIBARSI.com. That is my full website. There's lots of stuff going on there. All my videos are there. And, of course, all my CDs are there. And you can order right there online. It's very, very easy. People can find me on Facebook as well, and I kind of do the Twitter thing. I'm still not as good at Twitter as I should be, but I do have a Twitter account. But yeah, you can search around. Just Google Eli Barsi, and a lot of options will come up.
Now we're going to get ready to listen to your song called Farm Girl. Tell us a little bit about that song and what it means to you.
Well, Farm Girl was written, well, I started writing it. It was about growing up on the farm and where it all started off for me. But basically what the song is about is no matter where you go and what you do with your life, it's really good to remember your roots and where you come from and to stay grounded above all. And that's basically what that song is about. Even though it's called Farm Girl, there's a lot of boys that can relate to it as well.
I grew up picking rocks on my daddy's farm. Now I'm in the city picking on a new guitar. Those barbed wire fences couldn't hold me in. A long dusty road was wearing mighty thin. Yeah, yeah. I've come a long way since I left that life behind. I keep moving forward, but there's something down deep inside. Doesn't really matter where I go in this world. I always will remember that I'm still a farm girl, yeah, yeah. Farm girl is where I started out. Farm girl, I always will be proud. rocks on my daddy's farm.
In addition to your awards for your CD, Portrait of a Cowgirl, what are some other awards you've been honored with?
Oh, well, throughout the years, I was living in Alberta, Canada, for quite some time, and the Alberta Recording Industry Association awarded me with about, I think, 11 awards for songwriting, female vocalist several times, musical score, video, songwriting collaboration, different things like that. I've had lots of nominations throughout the years with the CCMA in Canada, and won some awards other awards in the U.S., the Academy of Western Artists. I was female vocalist 2 times with them, as well as the Western Music Association. I think I got the Crescendo Award a few years back. So there's been some nice accolades throughout the years. Very blessed.
Wonderful. Now, on your current CD, Portrait of a Cowgirl, I noticed that you, like you mentioned earlier, I think you did the mixing and the arrangements of the songs, and did you also produce it, or?
Well, I co-produced it with one of Canada's leading country music producers. His name is Bart McKay, and his studio is in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. He's a very sought-after producer. He's a fantastic musician and a wonderful, wonderful human being. He's so great to work with and so fun, and so he let me co-produce it with him, which was wonderful. And I did arrange all the music, write all the songs and the music, and arranged it. But he did the tracking and the mixing and all of that. So he did all the hard stuff, and he did a great job. I was so happy with the way it sounded and the outcome.
Oh, I am too. It's a wonderful CD, and I can't highly recommend it enough. Everybody needs to go to elibarsi.com and check it out and buy it.
Thank you.
Now, there's another wonderful track on the CD called I See You Everywhere, and you related a wonderful story about that at the banquet. Could you share that with us?
Well, sure. I See You Everywhere I wrote about my dad, and since I wrote it since he passed away. He passed away in 2009. And we were really close. I was definitely Daddy's girl. And his passing came as a shock to all of us. He was not, even though he was 90 years old, he was still farming. And he went out one day to do the chores, and that was the day that he passed away. And so since then, we did so much together, and we had so much in common. We like a lot of the same things. We love the same music. We like the old antiques, and we did so much together that ever since he passed away, it's still like I see him everywhere I go. And that particular day when I did the concert in Winston-Salem, my husband John and I had been just a few blocks away from the event was Old Salem, and we loved old historic sites, and if we get a chance to go check it out, we do. So we had some afternoon time over there, and it reminded me of my dad, the whole place, because there was antiques everywhere, and people dressed up in period clothing. My dad would have just loved it, and so I thought, I definitely have to include I See You Everywhere in my set that night. So I did, and I was. And it seems like it's another very personal song, but I always seem to have people that come up after the show and tell me how that song touched them, and that's why I keep singing it, because it seems to make a difference to other people and brings back memories for them, and so it's just I'm blessed that I get these opportunities to share that song and the other ones.
Well, I found it very touching myself when you sang it at the banquet. And let's listen to it now. Here's Eli Barsi and I See You Everywhere.
I would run through the golden wheat fields. I will watch your garden grow. I will walk freshly fallen snow. I will listen to some music while sitting in my favorite chair. It doesn't matter what I do, I see you everywhere. Looking out through the farmhouse window at the Buffalo Hills, I stare. And even though it's many miles away, I can see you walking there. And I can hear you telling stories just like you often love to share. It doesn't matter what I do, I hear you everywhere. In your hand, and I will watch you drive your old truck back and forth across this land. And I will see you at the rodeo and at the old town fair. It doesn't matter what I do, I see you everywhere. And even though you're really gone, I see you everywhere. I still see you everywhere.
Where will you be performing in the near future?
Well, coming up this week, we're going to head all the way over to the west coast of Canada. There's, where Vancouver is. Well, across from Vancouver is the island. It's called Vancouver Island. And in between the big Vancouver Island and the mainland are a bunch of little islands, and they're called the Gulf Islands. One of them is Gabriola Island, and we will be doing a concert there this Sunday. So I'm looking forward to that with a Canadian legend. His name is Gary Felgard. He's somebody to definitely Google and listen to his music. He's been a tremendous icon folk singer in Canada, and now he's morphed into the cowboy genre, which he does very well, and he yodels, and he's just a beautiful songwriter. He's been doing it forever, and he's going strong, and so he's invited us to perform on his island. So we're looking forward to that, and then we have some trips to Edmonton, Alberta, and then down to Nashville for the Americana Festival, back to British Columbia. So it's going to be a very busy fall, and then up until Christmas we have lots of Christmas shows coming up November, December. So it's been a busy year, and the rest of it is going to be busy too.
And you mentioned the Christmas. You have a couple Christmas CDs out too. It's never too early to start planning your Christmas shopping early.
That's right. And for those people that have everything, they probably don't have an Eli Barsi Christmas CD yet. So you could think of that as an extra stocking stuffer.
And you did one song at your show from your Christmas CD. It's not really a Christmas song, but it's one that I've always liked, Snowbird by Anne Murray.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I've always loved that song, and I was looking for a place. We recorded it in our studio, and I was looking for a place to put it, on which project can this go on. And I thought, this will fit on the new Christmas CD. So we put Snowbird on our Merry Prairie Christmas album, and I think it fits on there pretty nicely.
Now, what are a couple of your favorite songs that you love to perform?
Well, everything off the new album is still very fun to sing because it's all new stuff. I love singing gospel bluegrass. There's just so many good old tunes. Daniel Prayed, written by Ralph Stanley. That's always been a fun song. And Don't You Hear Jerusalem Moan? That's on my Little Mountain Church House album. That's a fun one. And then I get a lot of joy out of singing the old cowboy music and yodeling. There's just a lot of old favorites, and I love the Beatles. We do a lot of Beatles in some of our shows. It depends where we are. So there's a variety. I don't really have a specific favorite, but there's quite a few that we just love to sing.
Well, you're a great yodeler. I found that out at the banquet too. You do a wonderful job with that.
Thank you.
And we need more yodeling in the world. I just think that's a lost art, it seems.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, there's not too many yodelers. So whenever I hear the youngins, there's some young girls and boys out there yodeling. I really encourage them to keep it up because it seems like people really like to hear yodeling. It's almost a lost art. So I make sure that to tell them they're on the right track and to keep it up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now you intrigued me with the mention of the Beatles. What are some of the Beatles songs that you cover?
Oh, In My Life. I think that's a beautiful song. 8 Days a Week is lots of fun. And Close Your Eyes. What's that one called? And I'll Kiss You.
Yeah.
It's not called Close Your Eyes.
No. I know. I'm trying to think of it too. I'm trying to go.
I'll miss you.
All
My Lovin'.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So those ones for sure.
Well, are any of the Beatles tunes on any of your CDs?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I think it'd be fun to do a Beatles tribute, though, bluegrass style or something.
That is true. I would, if that ever comes out, you let me know, and we'll have you back on the show to talk about that, and I'll definitely buy that as soon as it's out.
Definitely. Well, there you go. I just gave a million musicians the idea, so someone might beat me to it.
You also share the gospel through your music. Tell us about the Cowboy Church.
Well, there's a lot of cowboy churches spread out throughout North America, and we seek them out when we're traveling and try to fit some cowboy church performances in between our weekend shows if we can. And there's a lot of them out there, and they're such a blessing to be a part of. They're all different. I've never been to any that have been the same in any way, really. And there's a lot of people that maybe don't necessarily want to go to church in a building, but cowboy church, they feel a little more comfortable. Mm-hmm. So I think that's kind of where they started, and it's just a little more of a laid-back church service. But everyone we've been to has been, very nourishing, and there's always a good cowboy preacher, and they all have their own style of delivering the word and making a difference. And we're just always so blessed when we go to a cowboy church. So we like I said, we look for them and try to include them in our tour schedule. And a lot of the cowboy festivals that we do will attach a cowboy church on the Sunday, and we make sure we get to be a part of that. It's just a very special experience, and I don't know if there's any down your way, but there's several throughout, the mid United States over to the west. So we seem to be able to find them. Well, the thing with cowboy churches, they're often, unless they're attached to a festival, those ones are on Sundays, but otherwise, most of the cowboy churches we go to are on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday nights.
Oh.
Yeah, and they're usually during the week. And they're, from everything to in the country halls to the sale rings, at an auction barn. We were at one in an old sheep barn way down in Alpine, Texas one time. You name it. Or just outside in the great outdoors on a big hill. People meet every Tuesday night, kind of thing. And yeah, they're a unique experience, worthwhile checking out.
That sounds absolutely wonderful. An outdoor church service. You can't beat that. I mean,
yes,
sometimes
exactly.
I think we get so set in our ways of having to go to a church building. That just sounds, I'm going to have to find one, whether it's in locally or not, and just go to one. I'm just
Yes, exactly. Or maybe start your own. If you can't find one, maybe you can group together some people that might be interested in something like that.
I'm imagining like a cowboy church in the middle of Montana somewhere with the big sky and then the pink sunset behind them or something.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's the perfect setting for a cowboy church.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, one of your gospel CDs is called Little Mountain Church House, which is the title cut on there. I'll have to say that song of all that you did at the banquet really moved me. I was actually moved to tears by the song. It just, I don't know what it just, something about that song brought out about a worship experience for me, and just how God spoke to me, and the talking about, the church being the cornerstone of your faith and everything. So so let's listen to Little Mountain Church House.
There's a little mountain church in my thoughts of yesterday, where friends and family gather for the Lord. There an old-fashioned preacher taught the straight and narrow way for what few coins the congregation could afford. Dressed in all our Sunday best, we sat on pews of solid oak, and I remember how our voices filled the air. How Mama sounded like an angel on those high soprano notes. When the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. Looking back now, that little mountain church house has become my life's cornerstone. It was there in that little mountain church house I first heard the words I based my life upon. Sisters who've gone on to glory land slept in peace in the maple grove nearby. Looking back now, that little mountain church house has become my life's cornerstone. It was there in that little mountain church house I first heard the words I based my life upon. Looking back now, that little mountain church house has become my life's cornerstone. It was there in that little mountain church house I first heard the words I based my life upon.
What led you to record that song for your CD?
Well, I was grouping together. I wanted to do, this was my second gospel album, and I wanted to group together more of the old favorites, because we performed a lot of the songs on that album. We performed them live, and people would always ask, which CD is that on, and which CD is that song on? And we'd say, oh, we haven't recorded that. And so we just grouped together all these songs that were favorites of people and favorites of ours, and people requested them all the time. And then once we had them all together, it was like, we're looking for a title. What can we call this album? And I thought Little Mountain Church House, which I love that song, and I'm sorry I can't tell you the writers off the top of my head. Shame on me, but I have it on the album. Who wrote that? I did hear Ricky Skaggs sing it with the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. Loved their version, and I thought that would be a great song to put on this album, and it would also be the title. And it's just kind of grouping, because all these songs, these old favorites, were all heard in the Little Mountain Church House at one point or another. That's why I recorded it and called the album Little Mountain Church House. And that particular song also brought back a lot of memories for me. Growing up on the prairies of Saskatchewan, we did have this little mountain range called the Moose Mountains. Nothing big, though. It was just these glorified hills, really, but nevertheless beautiful. And at the edge of our little Moose Mountains was this little church called the Fletwood Church, and it only holds about 30 or 40 people at the most, and it's only open in the summer now. And we would go there for special functions in the summer when I was growing up, for family reunions, or once in a while they'd have a special Sunday church picnic out there, and it just brought back so many memories of going out there when I was little and running and playing and listening to those old hymns, singing them with somebody playing the old pump organ. And so I thought, I bet you this will bring memories back for other people too. It'd be good to record this. So that's kind of how that whole album all came together.
Well, that song kind of reminds me of something they would sing in Mayberry on a Sunday.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Well, what are some of your favorite hymns?
Well, the ones on that album, like Unclouded Day, was very much a favorite. Victory in Jesus. I just love those. Those songs are just classic. They speak volumes. And Beulah Land is another one. I didn't record that one yet, but that's a beautiful song. The Far Side Banks of Jordan isn't really a hymn, but it's another beautiful song. I would put that on my first gospel album. And there's just so many good ones, but those are some of my favorites.
Well, I'm going to take a prerogative and play one of my favorites that you do on your CD. This is Victory in Jesus.
All right.
I heard an old story, how a Savior came from glory, how he gave his life on Calvary to save a wretch like me. I heard about his groaning, of his precious blood's atoning. Then I repented of my sins and won the victory. Oh, victory in Jesus, my Savior forever. He sought me and bought me with his redeeming blood. He loved me ere I knew him, and all my love is due him. He plunged me to victory beneath the cleansing flood.
I heard about a mansion he has built for me in glory, and I heard about the streets of gold beyond the crystal sea, about the angels singing and the old redemption story. And some sweet day I'll sing up there the song of victory. Oh, victory in Jesus, my Savior forever. He sought me and bought me with his redeeming blood. He loved me ere I knew him, and all my love is due him. He plunged me to victory beneath the cleansing flood. He loved me ere I knew him, and all my love is due him. He plunged me to victory beneath the cleansing flood.
Well, Eli, I just thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been fun, and your music, particularly gospel music, is so inspirational. It just means a lot to me. I play your CDs all the time in my car, so it's been really great. And thank you for coming on, and we wish you the best of luck in the future.
Oh, thank you, John. It's been my pleasure talking with you. Thank you so much for playing my music, and I just appreciate that you are enjoying it and gave me this time with you. Thanks again.
You're welcome.